and some of the key players, IMF, World Bank, and others, African Development Bank, it gives that kind of platform for them to come and discuss about what they can do for Nigeria, what they can do for West Africa, what they can do for Africa. So even for our businessmen and women, it gives them the opportunity to know where they can even access funds, because the key actors will come and talk and ask questions. There are different platforms where they ask questions. Heads of states and government, they will discuss about what we are doing in Africa, about our agriculture, even about our health needs, and so on. So we are going to spend some money, no doubt about that. If you're hosting the world, you must spend money. But the benefits are much more. You just interrogated me about employment. For you to solve the employment problems of this country, you must encourage the private sector. You must encourage the private sector. For the private sector to thrive, to succeed, they must have source of funds. The greatest problem the private sector faces in Nigeria, from World Bank analysis, is source of funds. First, source of funds. Second, by infrastructure, including power. So these two things are key. And even in terms of the infrastructure, government is now opened, and we're encouraging the private sector to come into infrastructure. We have just privatized, and we're still privatizing the power sector. We have concluded almost the first and second phase of the power infrastructure. Also, major road network, the wharves, the airports. There are quite a number of areas, even in the agriculture sector. So you can't just, for you to expose this to the world, you need a platform, you need a forum. And the World Economic Forum is one of the most valuable, for now, fora that any government will want to use to advertise what they have and encourage people to come and invest. So Nigerians will benefit from it maximally. It is not tomorrow. It's not as if immediately after Wednesday to Friday program, the next Saturday people will start benefiting. No. It takes a gestation period. You have convinced people that yes, this is fertile ground to come and farm. It takes them sometimes to take that decision, the investment decision, and begin to move down, get some local partners, people will farm for them and so on, get businesses registered and so on. So it's not as if immediately we finish on Friday, from Saturday, we'll start clapping.
Mr. President, there is this complaint that even though we have foreign investors, but they again take away the money they make instead of plowing it back into the Nigerian economy. Is there a policy on ground that will encourage foreign investors to also invest in our infrastructures?
Yes, somewhat fine. What the issue you raise is quite correct. Nigeria is one of the countries where we have no restrictions in terms of taking profits back. There are quite a number of countries that to take profit back out of the country used to be a problem, especially countries that have the foreign reserves are very, very small. If a country foreign reserves is quite low and you allow the investors to just take their profits out, it affects the country so much. So those countries, there's really money. You can invest, make your money will definitely stay there. But Nigeria is one country. Yes, our foreign reserves are not that robust. As a president of this country, I would have loved that we have over $100 billion as our foreign reserve. The minimum I would have loved to would have been $100 billion. There are some other countries with much more. But our challenges are too much, and we're talking about 40-something billion dollars. Yes, it's okay for us as of now, but I would have loved that we double that where possible. But because of our foreign reserves that are fairly okay, we allow that to even encourage people to come. Because a number of people are mindful about major investment in countries where they cannot take their capital to go to other places and invest, because the world is a global village. Somebody is investing here. We also want to invest in Ghana, want to invest in Australia, want to invest in this. If we have invested there and made money here, we want to another investment in Senegal or South Africa. I want to move again from here to Ghana, invest there. So I agree with you. But Central Bank is also doing something, but we are also mindful, because whatever we do, we have to also do, considering the fact that Nigeria is a global player. Nigeria is a leader in Africa. Now we're just talking about the biggest economy in Africa. So what some other countries are doing, Nigeria cannot afford to do because of our position in the world, because of our position in Africa.
Mr. President, still on economy. One major problem facing Nigerian economy is corruption. You promised to set up a forensic audit on controversial missing oil money. Many Nigerians are saying they haven't heard anything about it. What is happening with the forensic audit?
The missing money is now almost becoming a phenomenon in the Nigerian government. Almost every regime, there is always missing oil money. I don't want to mention regimes. There is always the story of missing oil money. As the governor of Central Bank came up and said that Nigeria lost $49.8 billion. That's approximately $50 billion. Within, I think, from the time frame he gave was about 18 months time frame between 2010, 2011, or 2011, 2012 or something. But the range of period he gave was about 18 months, not quite 24 months, and we lost $50 billion. It rattled so many people. We got calls from all over the world that the foreign aids that come into Nigeria within that 18-month period is less than 50. The foreign aids that come into Africa within that 18-month period is less than $50 billion. So could people steal more money than the total foreign aids that come into Africa within a period of time? Even some Nigerians who have critical minds ask questions: is it possible that even the whole country are made up of thieves? But see, $50 billion is a lot of money. If you take $50 billion today, America will know it's their money. Where will you have $50 billion, for God's sake? I used to ask people, if you call the richest person, okay, Dangote celebrated as the richest person in Africa. If you ask Dangote to bring $10 billion, he will not give you $10 billion in cash. Even $5 billion would be difficult. Even the richest Jews in America, the multi-billionaires in dollars, if you drop $10 billion, I'm not sure they will give you $10 billion cash. So people mention figures that are quite frightening. Yes, a CBN governor is not an ordinary Nigerian. The governor of the central bank, the reserve bank of the country. People raise issues, not within a month they say no, it was $12 billion that was missing. After some weeks, it was $20 billion that was missing. I don't know the figure to believe. You will know. So a number of people that are talk about the terminal figure I mentioned, because the last, probably if we were still there, I could have mentioned another figure now. But because of the suspension, no other new figure has come out. But $20 billion, you ask yourself, is it easy for anybody to steal $20 billion? And people will not know. America will know, and they will tell you where the money is. I'm telling you as a journalist, go and quietly ask that. If you steal $20 billion today in Nigeria, whether one person or a group of people steal $20 billion, America will know and say, this will keep that money there. The world is so open. Why will you have $20 billion? People cannot bring $20 billion cash to you anyway. So if you are stealing $20 billion, it must be through transfers and all kinds of networks. The Americans will say you have kept $1 billion there, you have kept $500 million there, you have kept $2 billion. They will know. Up to this time, we are recovering stolen money from this country that people kept in different places. So the world is open, so nobody should deceive anybody. And I'm telling you that if anybody steals $20 billion, this country will know. Even if Jonathan wants to cover the day I live up, you can't even cover because it's not under my control. The global economic market is not under the control of the Nigerian government. But to answer your question directly, the audit is going on. 2, the Senate is also using consultants to look into this. At the executive level, they are also looking into it. And so they must give them time to do their clinical analysis. At the end of the day, they will tell us. If anybody takes $20 billion, of course, you will know where the money is. You must get the money. Even if it is $1 billion, even after $1 billion. Because $500 million is a lot of money. $20 billion now in this country, we will celebrate it.
Staying with the theme of missing oil money, recently there's an allegation against the Minister of Petroleum embezzling public funds from private jets. and the parliament wanted to investigate. She rushed to the court to obtain an injunction. Isn't that trying to